Hey there, traders. Today we're going to be talking about something really important whenever you are picking your stocks. What is the stock's relative strength? On today's How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast. This is the How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast, brought to you by 10MinuteStockTrader.com, where we cover finance, stocks, options, entrepreneurship, education, and money. And here's your host, voted one of the top 100 people in finance, Christopher Ewell. Hey there, traders. Welcome back to today's How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast. Today, we have a special lesson for you. I'm putting it here on the podcast because I really believe that this is going to provide you massive value, and that's what I'm trying to do here. And hey, listen, if this podcast was useful to you at all, I really highly suggest that you go check out the full trading course at AIStockTradingSystem.com. That's AIStockTradingSystem.com. Markets are people. People are predictable. Outlier can show you how to track market fear and greed with artificial intelligence on over 1,300 of the largest market cap names. Visit outlier.com to learn more. That's OVTLYR.com. They have a free pilot program for the rest of 2021 so you can get access to right now at OVTLYR.com. That's OVTLYR.com. Hey, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified every time we give you more tools, tips, and tricks to help you trade faster and trade smarter every single week. Hey there, traders. Welcome back to today's podcast. Today we're going to be talking about relative strength. Now, in the world of finance or anything else, you can think of relative strength as how much volatility are we having in relation to the market, but how much of that is positive volatility that we want to be taking advantage of, right? So the idea here is to find the stocks that apples to apples look similar, right? Maybe they're both over their 10-day moving average, and maybe they both look like they have an opportunity to go higher. Well, which one has a higher relative strength can give you some insight as to which one of the two might be the better choice to make. Now, this idea came from William O'Neill, How to Make Money in Stocks. And this is also from Investors Business Daily, which they provide a relative strength number in their service. But the issue with that number is A, it takes into account events over the last year, and B, it also isn't as up to date as what you can make whenever you use this process. So the idea here is to find the relative strength of these stocks today, not over the last year, but really what's the most up-to-date way that we can do this. And I have a really simple way to do this for you. And I've shared this on Twitter a couple times. And it's actually super simple. So we're going to cover it right now. So what you're looking at here is a S&P 500 chart, the SPY, and this is going to be our denominator. We're going to be using a spreadsheet here, right? So we're going to say this is the stock, and this is the SPY. What we're going to do is we're going to find the RSI, which is available like on any platform. And you don't have to have any special metrics to go along with it. Really just the basic metrics, and keep it consistent as you're going through. So right now, the S&P is at 53.89. So we're going to put this at 53.89. Now let's pick a handful of stocks. So Ford's a really good one because it's on a move today. Apple, who else can we think of? I don't know, Microsoft. Let me just look at a different list here to get some ideas. What about JP Morgan? Citibank, and then let's do two in oil and gas. Let's do USO, let's do Schlumberger, and then let's do ExxonMobil. Okay? Reason being that I chose these is we're just going to look at Ford, but these two are both in the tech sector. And if you're comparing these two and they both look good, which one looks better? These two are both in the financials. Which one looks better? These are all in the oil sector. Which one looks better? In the energy sector. And then, okay, so with that said, let's take a look at each one of the RSI values for these. So let's start with Ford. And we can see the RSI right now is at 69.72. So what you do is super simple calculation. You're going to take the RSI of the stock divided by the RSI of the SPY. That gives you 129. Let's use that as a percent, 129%. That means the relative strength of Ford is 125% of the value of the relative strength of the S&P 500. Okay, we're going to roll this down. Now let's look at Apple. The current RSI is at 45.02. That means Apple is underperforming the S&P 500. That means the relative strength of Apple is not as strong as the relative strength as just buying the market. Let's do Microsoft. Microsoft, 47.18. So now if you look at these two, if you're looking at Apple and Microsoft and you're saying, which one of these two would I buy? All else being equal, maybe every single thing about it is equal in your eyes. And you're like, I just can't figure out which one to buy. What's the relative strength tell you? The relative strength says that between Apple and Microsoft, Microsoft has a higher strength relative to the market. And because we're using the denominator as the same thing, this is a true apples to apples comparison. We're saying our benchmark is X, but our stock is Y. How does our stock relate to the benchmark? And so we can see here that Microsoft has a higher strength than Apple, and therefore would be the candidate that I personally would invest in. So let's do JPM and Citibank. 60.95 and Citibank is at 65.50. So same here. These are outperforming the S&P 500, which means they're a better relative strength candidate than the tech sector. But not only that, between JP Morgan and Citibank, Citibank has a higher strength than JP Morgan. Are you getting it here? It's actually really simple. USO, 49.51. Schlumberger, 60.72. XOM, ExxonMobil, 50.94. Comparing all of these to the S&P 500, there's a clear winner here. There is a clear one of these that says, hey, over the last few days, this one has the highest relative strength to its peers and to the market. This is why it's so key that you just take a couple extra seconds, run this really quick calculation and say, I only have a certain amount of capital that I can work with. Maybe this is the one that has the potential to move faster and higher than the others. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but what I am saying it's the relative strength of these to each other and to the market that you're looking at here. So that is how I calculate the relative strength on a stock, and I use this all the time. This has become a pretty invaluable tool to me. So remember, you're just taking the RSI of the stock, dividing it by the S&P 500 SPY RSI, and you're just doing that at a point in time whenever it's the day you're ready to make a trade. And then you know what, tomorrow these values will change and you update it, and then you can use that as an apples to apples comparison. So listen, I hope you found this helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this with somebody you think that they could use as well. And at the end of the day, make sure you tune in for more tools, tips, and tricks to help you trade faster and trade smarter. I'll see you on the next episode. Okay, so what'd you think? That was pretty incredible, right? Now, if you like that, that's only a taste, only a sample of what you're going to find in the full AI stock trading system. And I really highly encourage you to go and check this out. Obviously, you are interested in learning and how to trade, and that's why you're listening to this podcast. Now, I'm going to take and download my entire trading system that I use day in and day out onto you. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is over at the AIStockTradingSystem.com. You're going to get phase 1, 2, and 3, several bonuses, and on top of that, I'm going to walk you through over a dozen trades that I put on inside of my account, holding your hand and showing you exactly how I got in, how I got out, how I use the artificial intelligence data, and how this could work inside of your own trading portfolio on a daily basis. So make sure you head on over to AIStockTradingSystem.com. That's AIStockTradingSystem.com to learn more and to get started and to download my decade plus worth of trading experience into your hands so you can start using the AI stock trading system today, the 5-step system to take the guesswork out of trading. Hey, if you like this video, let me know by leaving me a like below, and then subscribe and share it with somebody you think could use it as well. Be sure to comment below with your biggest takeaway from this episode and any suggestions you have for future episodes. And finally, make sure you watch these other videos to help you trade faster and trade smarter, and I'll see you on the next episode.